Welcome to another exciting episode of Doug's Electronic Repair Bench.
Good evening, YouTube. Here with you on this late evening on a Thursday night to bring you a little correction video. I guess I was tired. I don't know exactly what the problem was, but I made a kind of a rookie mistake working with the Zenith, and I'm going to point that out here with some diagrams and an explanation. I'll do a narration on the diagrams, and it should be a quick video. But you should understand why I'm going to have to repeat this whole process. So here we go. Alright, I'm back with you now. Looking at the first diagram up there. It's the image of the power supply. You can see on the right there is a plug coming in, and if you follow the red line over to the switch, which is on the volume control, you'll see that the result from connecting the switch together makes it go straight to what appears to be ground. Now this is where I made my mistake. This is known as B. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, now what we're looking at is the notes on the schematic. You can see, you can go through all and read that if you want, but the part we're talking about goes down to the part surrounded in orange there, and you'll notice the symbol there denotes chassis ground. Well, that's what I mistook for the correct place to hook up the meter to, but if we look below that, we can see that actually denotes B. Now in this case, usually that's B minus, but this case it's B plus, because for some reason, I don't know exactly why, I haven't really figured that out yet, but transistor circuits are kind of backwards from tubes. They kind of use like a negative ground thing, or I'm sorry, a positive ground thing. So if we go back to the other diagram again, let's take a look at that. We can see now that the after that red line is done, it results in that symbol right there, which again is going to be B. Now if we look at the other one here on the power supply, this is the spot I had connected to, thinking that was actually the negative or B minus of the chassis, and it is chassis ground, but it is not what we should have been connected to. If you read the other thing, let's see, let me go back to that a second. Okay, now we're looking at the same place again on the notes section, and if you read up above there, it says all voltages are DC unless otherwise specified and are measured without signal input using a vacuum tube voltmeter. Well, we're using a digital multimeter, which is even more accurate than a vacuum tube voltmeter. Reference to B. Okay, that's where you put the negative of your meter. Okay, and it says also all voltages measured in the FM position, which is what we are doing. So, and it says without signal. Well, we don't have any signal because there's nothing going through the radio, so that's a good deal. So, all right, let's go back to the other one again. All right, so now we can see this again. You can see that's the chassis ground, and what we don't want is that. We don't want to use that, so we have a big red X through that. And this is the one we are going to use. Yes, the B. It's odd for me to call that B. It's either B minus or B plus, but they're just saying B. So that's what they're calling it. That's what we'll call it. So, all right, now let's go over to the diagram of the converter, mixer, the oscillator, whatever you want to call it. We can see. Let's see. If we look at the Q2 is what we're looking at. That's the FM mixer converter, and we see an orange line there. That's the start of the trace of the path. That is a trace to the path of the B minus or ground. And we're going to show you where it goes. It starts out there, comes off the collector of the transistor, goes down through the primary of the transformer there, the IF transformer. Now, let me back up a second. That primary is a direct connection. It says, I think, 0.9 ohms, but it's basically a direct connection, okay? Anytime you're measuring DC, you go through a coil or a transformer like this, that's basically considered a direct connection. So we go through that, and then we go back over this way, and then we go down another one, we go there, go over this way, and there's another coil there, L5, so we're going to go down through that, and once we get there, we're going to go over here, and I think you can see where we're headed, straight to ground. So there's no way we're going to measure 11.5 volts measuring from ground like I had it hooked up to ground. That's basically what our problem was, and I didn't have a clue at the time. So now we know that's the ground. And like I said, transistor circuits are backwards compared to tubes. So basically what we want to do next is take a look at the B plus line. Alright, now here we're on the B plus line. I know this connects to the symbol that we looked at before for B, so I traced it out. It comes up through the switch that T202 is not a switch, it's actually a transformer. But right next to that red line going into the dotted line is the FM AM switch, and it's in the FM position. So anyway, that is B plus, comes up through there. As you follow the red line, it comes up to R4, which is a 1.8K resistor. It also goes through R5, which is a 1.5K resistor, and from there it goes up to the base of the transistor. And we at that point we measure 1.5 volts, and if we go the other way up through R4 and L4, we're going to come out with 0.8 volts on the emitter. So if you add those up, that's 0.7 difference. That's the conduction or the biasing needed for a transistor is usually 0.7 on a silicon transistor. So we can see there that's where we get our voltage for the transistor. So now that you see all this, you can see that where I made my mistake and everything. And so in the morning, I won't say I keep promising you guys in the morning, but sometimes I forget and don't do it in the morning. I get busy doing other things. A lot of times I'm watching YouTube videos. So, but anyway, that's what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow, is with the meter hooked up in the correct position, and we're going to check those voltages again. And I have a feeling that they may be closer to correct. I still don't think they're going to be correct. I don't really think that transistor is operating correctly. It may be shorted out. You never can tell. But I don't really think we have any oscillator action at all, so I really think that's the problem. So join me again tomorrow. The video may not be posted until later in the day. It took me a long time to do that video yesterday, or today I should say, and get it uploaded. Because I did all that work in the morning. It was before noon, and it took that long to edit it. And I was trying to use 3 cameras, and I think you noticed I messed up and didn't press the record button on the Bloggy Touch when I was reading the voltages, which it doesn't matter now because they were wrong anyway. But anywho, that's all I'm going to do for tonight, and get this uploaded and get a little explanation out there, so you guys that follow this stuff can follow along and see that I made a mistake. I'm not perfect. I know you guys don't think I was perfect, never did. But, sometimes I come off that way, and, I want to let you know I'm not perfect. So you guys have a great evening. Stay warm. It's like going to be down to 9 here tonight. So you guys have a good evening, and thanks for watching. See you later.